Are we live? Welcome. My name is Kristin and I am a trauma-sensitive yoga facilitator. And we are here at HIR Wellness Institute in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the dance studio today. So along with me is Xavier Smart. He is in the comments section and available to you if you have any questions throughout the session today. Xavier is a mental health professional, so in addition to just putting up some useful information for you, he's there to support you if anything comes up for you during our session today, emotionally or any mental health stuff you'd like to talk with someone about. He's there to answer your questions and be a support for you. So if you'd like, you can talk to him in the comments section or send him a direct message. So today for our trauma-sensitive yoga session, I thought we might talk a little bit about another core component of this style of yoga, and that is why we practice together at the same time. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then maybe have a little bit longer practice today than we have been in the last few weeks. So we can kind of get into incorporating some of those things that we've talked about over the past several weeks, like why, making choices, noticing body sensation, and getting to do some movement together. And then we'll leave a little bit of time at the end for any questions that you might have. So just to recap, in case you're not familiar with HIR Wellness Institute, HIR Wellness Institute offers mental health and wellness services for Indigenous and underserved communities. And it's based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we're super excited to be able to offer services remotely as well. You'll notice some information that Xavier is putting up in the comments section. We're available to you right now. And then there's also a hotline called the CARES line that you can call at any time if you'd like to talk with someone about any support that you might need with mental health and other services. So you can check out that CARES line in case you ever want to talk with someone. And then a lot of the programming here is based on and supportive around people who've experienced crime, so victims of crime. And so if you feel that you are a victim of crime and the description of crime is pretty extensive, what you might have experienced, there's a survey that would be really helpful if you're able to fill that out to help us better plan the programming here to fit your needs. So you'll see Xavier putting a link to that in the comments section as well. So at any time during the session today, please feel to put any questions or comments in the comments section, and Xavier will either answer them or he'll let me know if it's something that is maybe more directed at what we're working on right now. So again, welcome. Maybe we'll start with a really quick, just kind of grounding practice if you'd like. So whenever you're ready, maybe coming to sit either in a chair or on the floor, whatever works for you today. And then we might start to either rest our hands with our palms down or palms up. So it's your choice how you want to rest your hands, either with your palms down or with your palms up. As we're here, you might start to notice where your body is in contact with any surfaces that are supporting you. Maybe noticing where your body is in contact with any surfaces that are supporting you. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. And if you'd like, we might bring some movement into our feet. So one way to do that might be to tap your toes or your heels or maybe both. If you're sitting on the floor, you might alternate between pointing your toes and flexing your toes. So you're in charge of moving your feet here in whatever way you find useful or interesting. Maybe noticing some sensation as you're moving your feet, maybe in your ankles, maybe in your calf muscles. If it's helpful, feel free to look at your feet as you're moving them. Maybe noticing which feet are moving, maybe noticing the range of motion that you're exploring. And then whenever you're ready, we could meet back in neutral, bringing our feet back to stillness. Here we might explore some movement in our shoulders. So one way to do that might be to bring both of your shoulders up at the same time and down at the same time. So maybe bringing both shoulders up at the same time and down at the same time. That's one option. Another possibility might be to bring one shoulder up and down, and then the other shoulder up and down. So it's your choice how you like to move your shoulders here. Maybe we'll move here for just a few rounds. As you're moving your shoulders, you might notice some sensation in your shoulder joint. Maybe noticing some sensation along the space where your shoulders and your neck meet. Maybe noticing here if your breath is moving. And then whenever you're ready, maybe we could meet back in neutral. In your own time, bringing your shoulders back to stillness. And maybe one more time here, noticing where your body is in contact with any surfaces that are supporting you. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. So I thought we might take a little bit of time to talk about why in this style of yoga, why we practice together. Maybe a little bit about what this style of yoga is for. And then if you had any questions that came up during that first little practice that we did, feel free to put those in the comments section. Xavier will let me know, or any comments as well. All comments are welcome too. So trauma-centered, trauma-sensitive yoga is a style of yoga that was designed to help address what happens to our brains and our bodies when we experience the kind of trauma that happens in relationships. So we think of maybe child abuse, verbal, physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or neglect. So the way that our brains and our bodies adapt to those experiences are specific, and they're intended by our brain and our body to help us adapt and keep us alive, which is an amazing thing that our bodies and our brains do. But what happens is those adaptations can start to become really hard for us to function maybe day to day or in relationships when we get older, especially. So we know that relationships and having healthy, supportive relationships are one of the key things that keep us healthy and happy throughout our lifetimes. And so it can be really important to do this work of being able to connect, figure out how can we connect with other people in relationships in a healthy way when maybe we have never had good models of what a healthy relationship is, and maybe we've learned through our experiences that other people are unsafe, or maybe that we don't know how to feel safe in our own body, and maybe we don't know how to trust our own body signals about who is or isn't safe. So this style of yoga is designed to address all of that, all of those like questions that come up for us when we've experienced that kind of trauma. So one of the key places that we start to notice what it feels like in our body is this idea of practicing noticing body sensation. We talked about that really in depth in a few previous Sunday morning 10 a.m. Yoga sessions. So if you're curious, you might look back a few weeks and kind of watch some of those posted on the HIR Wellness Facebook page. But the key thing is, like, when we start to notice body sensation, a few cool things happen. One, we can start to feel safe in our body again. If we had an experience of like our body feeling unsafe, we can start to notice, like, if I move my ear to one side, I might feel some sensation in my neck. And when I do that, I start to notice that I'm having a feeling, like any sensation. B, kind of get a sense of, well, what is it? It's this sensation and it's in my neck. And C, maybe like, what do I want to do about it? So is this feeling like something that I want to be doing right now or not? And depending on what I feel, I can decide what I want to do about it. So maybe I'll hang out there for a little while because I want to be feeling that. Or maybe I'll decide, you know what, I don't want to feel that, and I'll make a choice to shift so I'm no longer feeling that. So as our brain gets to practice noticing that sensation, what do I want to do about it? We start to gain a sense of, like, this is my body and I'm in charge of what I want to do with my body. Those body sensations also start to be able to tell us, like, do I trust myself? Do I trust this other person? How do I really feel about this, both physically and emotionally? So that's the body sensation part that can help us start to build healthy relationships. We start to be able to have a better sense of how we're feeling about interacting with any given person. And then the other big piece that we work on with developing those healthy relationships is the fact that we practice this style of yoga together. So in a traditional yoga class, it's pretty common for the teacher to sort of walk around the room during the session and maybe check in with people. Probably they might model some of the shapes, and then they kind of start to walk around the room instead of doing the practice together. And there are really good reasons for that in a traditional yoga class. In this style of yoga, the facilitator always practices with the whole group. And there are a few key reasons for that. So there's a thing called attachment that happens in all human relationships that start with a caregiver and a child. And healthy attachment is one of the key things that can help our brain develop into a robust, well-connected, like brain that functions in a way that understands that the world is safe, that I matter, and my needs can be met. And when we have some traumatic experiences as children, especially as children, our brains don't get the opportunity to develop that awareness that that the world is safe, that I matter, that my needs can be met. So we practice together in our yoga sessions so that we can sort of reintegrate that idea of attachment where I'm showing up to class to be with you, and I'm here to support you in having a healing experience without any expectation that you will give me anything in return other than like your presence, you know, just that you're here and I'm here to have an experience together. So there's no coercion on my part or manipulation on my part. There's no neglect. I'll be here for you. So we start to get to practice that. What is it like to show up in the same space and have someone consistent that you can start to trust? The other thing that happens is when we have traumatic experiences, all humans start to learn how to regulate their nervous systems by having the support of people around them. So especially at a young age, we start to learn, like, if I'm upset, if I connect emotionally with this person, they might help me bring my nervous system back to neutral. If we don't have that experience of learning that there are other people we can go to help us calm down when we're feeling upset, it can be very hard to ever develop those skills on our own. So one of the things that we do in TCTSY is we practice sometimes moving together, kind of attuning to each other's movements and starting to notice maybe what it's like to be in sync with someone else. So sometimes during TCTSY sessions, you and I might be making different choices about how we want to move, but sometimes we might choose to move together, and sometimes moving together can help us sort of regulate what's going on for us emotionally and physically. So if you have any questions about that, it's like a really big topic in a very small little nutshell. Please feel free to ask in the comment section. So for now, I thought we might start to do some movement together. Is there anything, questions?
So Leah is sending us all good energy this morning.
That's so sweet. So Leah, Leah Denny, who is the founder of HIR Wellness Center, said she's sending us all good energy this morning. So thank you so much, Leah. It's wonderful to hear from you. So yeah, I thought we might do a little movement. So if you'd like, maybe coming to sit in whatever way you like. If it works for you, finding maybe a sturdier chair, a chair with like rolling wheels might be a little bit harder here. Just to notice what's going on for your body rather than letting the chair kind of absorb your movements. And if it works for you, you might bring your feet flat on the floor. Maybe noticing where your feet are in contact with the floor. Maybe noticing where your sitting bones are in contact with the chair. Again, it's your choice if you'd like to rest your hand with your palms down or your palms up. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. And then from here, if you'd like, taking your arms into a T. When you're ready, bringing your hands toward the ceiling. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So going at your own pace here, maybe we'll move through this sequence a few times. When you're ready, taking your arms into a T shape. If you'd like, bringing your hands to the ceiling, maybe reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. A couple more times, taking your arms into a T. When you're ready, bringing your hands to the ceiling. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And whenever you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe one more time, taking your arms into a T. When you're ready, bringing your hands to the ceiling. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. Whenever you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe noticing here if your breath is moving. Maybe noticing where your feet are in contact with the floor. From here, if you'd like, maybe taking your hands to your knees. And when you're ready, maybe bringing your chin to your torso, and as much as you'd like, rounding your shoulders and your spine forward. And then when you're ready, maybe bringing your chin toward the ceiling. If you'd like, moving your shoulders back, maybe lifting your sternum. So maybe we could alternate between these two shapes for a few rounds. Alternating between bringing your chin to your torso, rounding your shoulders and your spine forward. And then when you're ready, maybe bringing your chin toward the ceiling, rounding your shoulders back, and lifting your sternum. So as we move between these two shapes, it's your choice what range of motion you want to explore. Maybe noticing some sensation along your spine. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. And then whenever you're ready, whenever you feel like you've completed your last pair of movements, maybe we could meet with our spines back and neutral. So in your own time, bringing your spine back to neutral. Maybe noticing if there's any sensation and coming back to neutral. From here, I thought we might try a twist. So one way to do that might be to bring your hands toward the ceiling. Whenever you're ready, turning to one side. And it's your choice which side to do first, because we'll do both. If it works for you, you might bring your front hand to the outside of your leg. And then your back hand, maybe bringing it toward your side, or if you have a chair with a back, you might rest your hand on the back of the chair. So it's your choice where you place your back hand here. If it's useful or interesting, you might lengthen your spine here. Maybe noticing some sensation in your lower back. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, unwinding, maybe bringing your hands back to the ceiling. And then if you'd like, twisting to your other side. So if it works for you, you might bring your front hand to the outside of your leg. And then it's your choice where to take your back hand. So you might place it on the seat of your chair, or if you have a back of your chair, you might place your hand on the back of the chair. So it's your choice where you want to place your back hand. Maybe lengthening your spine here. In this shape, you might notice some sensation across the top of your shoulders. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, unwinding, coming back to the center, maybe reaching your fingertips to the ceiling, and in your own time, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. From here, if you'd like, you might bring your hands back to your knees. If it's useful, maybe lengthening your spine. And then as you're ready, maybe bending your elbows to fold forward. So it's your choice how far you fold forward here. Some people like to come like a quarter of the way. Some people like to maybe fold halfway. Some people like to bring their head toward their feet. So it's your choice how far you want to fold. And then whenever you're ready here, maybe lifting halfway, whatever halfway is for you. When you're ready, folding again. And then in your own time, making your way back up to a vertical spine. Maybe reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. When you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So from here, I thought we might build on that fold we just did and add some arms if you'd like. So if you'd like to explore this arm movement incorporated into the fold, feel free to follow me. Otherwise, feel free to do what we just did, which might be bringing your hands to your knees and bending your elbows to fold. So it's your choice how you want to explore here. So when you're ready, maybe bringing your arms into a T shape. If you'd like, folding forward. How far you fold is your choice. When you're ready, scooping your hands toward the floor, maybe bringing your palms together. And if you'd like, bringing your hands to the ceiling. Maybe reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So I thought we might try that a couple more times. Your version of a forward fold. So when you're ready, maybe taking your arms into a T, or maybe folding at your elbows if you're doing this version. When you're ready, folding forward, it's your choice how far you fold. In your own time, maybe scooping your hands toward the floor, maybe bringing your spine back to vertical. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe one more time, taking your arms into a T. As you're ready, coming into your version of a forward fold. If you'd like, taking your hands toward the floor, in your own time, bringing your spine back to vertical, maybe reaching through your fingertips. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So noticing here maybe where your feet are in contact with the floor. Maybe noticing where your sitting bones are in contact with the chair. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. From here, I thought we might come into the resting sequence we do at the end of each yoga session. So feel free to sit however you like. Some people like to sit a little bit more forward in their chair. Some people like to sit back and maybe lean against the back of their chair. So it's your choice how you want to sit here. And it's your choice if you'd like to rest with your palms down or with your palms up. Maybe one more time noticing where your body is in contact with any surfaces that are supporting you. If you'd like, allowing the soles of your feet and the palms of your hand to feel soft. Maybe taking a breath into the lowest part of your abdomen. And whenever you're ready, exhaling. If you'd like, taking a breath into the space under your ribs. Whenever you're ready, exhaling. Maybe taking a breath into the space around your heart. Whenever you're ready, exhaling. If you'd like, maybe resting your tongue on the bottom of your mouth. Maybe allowing the skin on your forehead and your jaw to soften toward the floor. Maybe allowing your eyes to soften and your inner ears to soften. So we'll rest quietly here for just a few moments. You can always adjust at any time for any reason. And in just a few moments, I'll guide us out. Whenever you're ready, bringing small movements into your fingers and toes. Maybe rotating your wrists and your ankles. And then if there's any way of moving that feels left unfinished, feel free to move in any way you like right now. Any kind of waking up stretch. Whenever you're ready, we can meet back in neutral. Coming back to sitting in whatever way feels restful for you. If you'd like to join me maybe bringing your hands together. At the end of every yoga session, it's traditional to say namaste, which is Sanskrit. And a very simplified translation is that it's the awareness in me sees and honors the awareness in you. So if you'd like to join me in gratitude for our practice together today, namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. We'll have a couple minutes here for any questions that you have about TCTSY, about HIR Wellness Institute. Xavier can answer anything that you might want to know about the programming here. Yeah, do we have any questions?
Yes, I have one question that asks, can we do laughter yoga?
Can we do laughter yoga? I've never done laughter yoga. That sounds like fun. I know it exists. I've never looked into it. And I don't know anything about the studies with it. Yeah, it might be fun to, I will definitely look into it. I don't want to lead anything I'm not like trained in, but I'm really curious, like if there's been any info about, all those endorphins and all that. Good energy is probably really good for us, for sure.
Okay. So would this type of yoga be good for couples and families that are struggling to get along?
That's a great question. The question was, would this type of yoga be good for couples and families that are struggling to get along? What I can say is that yoga in general can help us really regulate our nervous system. So if we're feeling really on edge, it can help us just kind of come back to feeling really aware of like what's going on for me, and maybe feeling a little bit more self-aware about what is upsetting me and what does calm me. So I can absolutely see it being beneficial for couples and families who are in general just going through a lot right now, or whenever you are, to practice. And frankly, practicing together can be a very cool experience of like getting physically in sync with people. Sometimes can help us also get more mentally and emotionally in sync with people too. So it could be a very cool thing to try, I think.
So what if they're still having like difficulty noticing or naming the sensations after like a few sessions?
Yeah, so that's also a great question. What if someone is still having difficulty noticing or naming sensation after a few sessions? Just know that that's super normal. It can take a really long time to start to make those neural connections, especially if we've spent years trying not to feel anything, either physically and or emotionally. It can take time. And we intentionally, as a facilitator, something I watch for, especially when I'm working with people one-on-one, is to go at a pace that's not overwhelming. So it can be to notice in small doses. That's kind of the word we use, like dosage or titration. If you ever took science class, it can be helpful for it to not be an overwhelming sort of flood of awareness. So kind of getting back into your body at a pace that feels right for you. And so, yeah, it's super normal that it would take more than a couple sessions. So it looks like no other questions have come through. I'm just gonna reiterate a couple cool things about HIR Wellness. So if anything comes up while I'm talking here, feel free to reach out to Xavier on the comment section. So again, thank you so much for coming. We'll be doing this every Sunday at 10 a.m. There's also, so we'll do this Facebook Live thing at 10 a.m. And then there's also a plan to, after the 10 a.m. session, do a private group class on Zoom. And that's free to sign up. We just want people to register so we know who you are. And in that Zoom session, it'll be your choice whether you have your video turned on or off. So I'll be the one facilitating that as well. So you'll see me. Xavier or another mental health professional will also be in that session. So if anything comes up for you during that Zoom yoga session that you want to talk with a mental health professional about, someone will be there to support you. And then you could turn on your video if you want other people in the room to see you, because I know we're all sometimes, missing actually being with other people right now. Or if you feel like you want to keep your video private, you can, and then you'll still be able to see me and anyone else who has their video turned on. So those will be starting soon. TBD, we're still figuring out when exactly, but Xavier will post some info to email Jamie to register for those sessions. So we'll start those up soon. And otherwise we'll keep doing this 30 minutes, 10 a.m. Facebook Live on Sundays as well. So you can always join in on that as well. So again, everything's free. There's the CARES line. So if during the week something comes up for you and you want to talk with someone or you feel like you need some support, feel free to contact the CARES line and someone will get back to you within 24 hours. And then if you haven't had a chance yet to take the survey for victims of crime, if you are willing to do that and able to do that, it does help us plan the programming here to make sure it fits everyone's needs. So any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you again so much for coming, and we'll see you hopefully next Sunday at 10 if that works out for you. Take good care. Xavier, can you help me? Good.